Talk about your psychosynthesis process work and how it benefits your clients. I'm a little bit ignorant in that area.
Yes, I will. Psychosynthesis is a spiritual psychology that was formulated by an Italian psychiatrist whose name is Roberto Assagioli, and he was a colleague of Freud and Jung, and he felt, going this back into the early 1900s, he felt that although they were moving in the right direction in terms of the understanding of psychoanalysis, that they were a little bit on the limited side. So he did his writing about how to see a human being as a whole being, and really looking at how it is we as humans become wounded and what it takes to move us from that wounding into integration and wholeness. And so his theory was that what was absolutely required was for us to be seen, and that most of us don't get seen at that really deep, whole, true level by the people around us when we're growing up. Even the most well-meaning parents often have an agenda for their child. Yeah. Society certainly has an agenda for all of us. Yeah. And so his theory was that the way back to wholeness was for the person to be seen by a therapist or clinician or parent or teacher or anybody. One of the things about his theory was that he wasn't just going to limit it to psychiatrists and psychologists as the only ones who could use it, because it is a theory that's really based on love. And especially as formulated by my teachers, Ann Gila and John Furman, the idea that to really step into loving the client, seeing the client, holding a place of empathic love as you sit with this person, honoring that the person is the ultimate wise person about their path and about their life, and just being there to sort of be beside them on the journey. Yeah. So in terms of the psychosynthesis, there's two parts of it that I work with. The one part would be the philosophy of it, which really is aligned with me as a heart-centered person, in alignment with the way Spirit has always spoken through me. I mean, always, people are amazed that when they connect with their spirit guides, how loving spirit guides are, how friendly they are, how humorous they are. We all have a tendency coming from the Judeo-Christian ethic to feel that, God or spirit guides are kind of mad at us, and, we should feel guilty for all the things we've done wrong. And that's not true. That's not my experience at all. My experience is that Spirit loves us and holds us and has incredible empathy and compassion for everything we're going through. So it was exciting for me when I discovered that psychosynthesis existed, because the psychosynthesis philosophy really reflects who I am and how I feel about working with people. So for the first time in my life, I received validation that it was okay to do my work in this very open, loving, accepting way that was really reflective of my nature. Then with the actual process work, psychosynthesis offers the idea of guided meditations or visualizations as a way to connect with the unconscious energies. So for instance, if a person comes to me and first I see what's going on with them psychically through their aura, that's the first piece. Then I look at their astrology chart and I see what it is that they are working through in the bigger levels of their life and the periods of time. And then as we're talking, a lot of times what happens is we identify the places where the person feels stuck in their life. There may be the part of them that wants to leave a relationship and the part that wants to stay. There may be the part that feels always guilty and critical of themselves, the part that wants to be free yet wants to be responsible. So we have all of these mixed parts that are often in conflict with each other. So the psychosynthesis process work offers a really deep yet quick and often very long-lasting way for people to get completely connected to the truth of what's going on with them on a subconscious level, bring it to the conscious mind, and by bringing healing to those parts, allow a very deep and long-lasting shift.
Wow.
So I'm very, very excited about this work.
And I really like the concept, the fact that people are seen through the eyes of love. I mean, that's really, I found many years ago that was really the key to healing. It can't be just that someone's seen, it has to be through the heart, really, doesn't it?
It has to be through the heart. It has to be absolutely unconditional, empathic to who that person is.
Yes.
It's that holding of the space.
Yes.
And what I noticed is, you know, when people leave little testimonials, you know, my online booking system, that they will talk about how they had great readings with me and it was accurate, and it was clear and blah, blah, blah. But mostly what they talk about is that they felt so loved and it felt so warm and I'm so compassionate, and that's what's sticking with people after they have talked to me.
That's what has the greatest effect. Isn't that fantastic? Wow, fantastic work. What distinguishes your offering with other people using this technique, do you think?
There again, I think the fact that I am blending different modalities really makes a difference, because in the psychosynthesis work, because I am a psychic, when I am asking people questions about where they are in their process, you know, I'm saying to them, well, you know, call in this part of you. I see that part of them. I see everything that they are going through, even though I am operating as an objective, empathic guide, allowing them to decide how they want to talk about it, or what they want to say, or what they see, or what they're going to do next. The fact that I'm with them, and I can see it too, keeps me from making empathic blunders for the most part. I noticed that in one of the first trainings that I took in psychosynthesis with a person who was not so intuitive, that when he was doing demos and somebody was saying, I feel this thing, or I see this thing, he didn't really know what that was to that person.
Yes.
You know, I remember at one point in one of the demos, the woman said that she could smell a particular scent, and he was like, oh, lovely, the scent. And really it wasn't lovely, and I knew that that scent was related to an abuse memory for her. And so if I had been in that situation, I would have handled it in that moment in a really different way.
Yes.
And so I think that that's probably one of the main differences. Although I also feel that if you are a person who is doing psychosynthesis work, you will develop your intuition. I feel that one of the ways I assist my clients in developing their own intuition is through the psychosynthesis process work, because it's very similar to clairvoyant reading.
Sort of tunes them up, I guess, and gets them connected. Wow.
Yes, it does.
Fantastic.